I think there are opportunities both in the short to medium as well as very much in the long term for two reasons. The whole concept of the BRI is to support global trade because it engulfs around 70 countries and it is expected to account for around 40% of global trade. And Sri Lanka being an island very much depends on international trade. So that is a very significant opportunity. Secondly, in the immediate shorter medium term, as part of that process, Sri Lanka more than the road is in the belt, which is the maritime side. So there is a significant investment in infrastructure regarding the two ports. So I think there is an opportunity from that perspective in the shorter term to get involved in the value chain, the supply chain of this investment for Sri Lankan businesses, which is really driven by SME. So I think there is a huge opportunity for subcontracting, supplying, etc. in that process. And the third opportunity is knowledge. Given that Sri Lanka has a fairly robust knowledge-based workforce, it is an opportunity to scale up with the PM's vision also for these million jobs. Here is an opportunity to plug into this space as much as possible. But you can't just, in that space, you just can't go and provide unskilled labor. It's skill. People are expecting skill. So I think upgrading vocational skills, upgrading your technical skills over the next few years and building that workforce and also retraining the workforce to meet the demands of the BRI, I think is an opportunity which the government has to understand, recognize and plug in. So there is no automatic solution. You have to also prepare the country to meet the challenge of this. So the chamber, it's a knowledge process. I think the chamber itself internally has recognized the importance of this, like any other free trade agreements. And the way we see it is against the key pillar is trade facilitation. So you have bilateral trade agreements which are currently happening in the subcontinent, the Asian subcontinent. Then you also have a potential FTA coming up with China, as well as one has been signed in Singapore. So the key opportunity is South Asia as a pillar which stands in between Singapore on one side and Dubai on the other side, accounts for around 1.4 billion people, which is about 1/4 of the global population. So here, the chamber, I think, has recognized the importance of positioning Sri Lanka, however small it is, 20 million people, as a very important third party manufacturing or value adding nation for any large market outside South Asia to come in here, plug into our infrastructure, add value and then reach out to this 1.4 billion from Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India up to Maldives. There is a huge opportunity two-way to support that trade, and in that process of facilitating the trade, to create manufacturing and employment opportunities also in Sri Lanka for that purpose. So that's one of the key things which the chamber would be positioning itself. I think again two things: upscaling the pool of domestic talent to meet the future expectations of the region and the globe is, I think, a very important thing, because today one of the fundamental problems we have locally is the mismatch between what the world and the business community is expecting in terms of a skill set and what we are turning out in schools and in universities. I was told that we have something like 60 or 70,000 unemployed graduates. It's mainly because of the churning out of people from social sciences and arts, when the knowledge-based economy is requiring something else. So I think that's a fundamental thing. The second issue is, I think, if we are to be a competitive trading nation based on international trade, our whole philosophy and policy on tariffs have to be so competitive to encourage open international trade, so that you don't benefit from really the fees and tariffs, but you benefit from a greater degree of inflow into the country as a small nation, the same way Singapore has positioned itself. So those are two very, very important things. And of course, the most important wish list, which I would say is top number one for a chamber as well as a nation, is the prevalence of ethnic and interracial harmony and peace, because that creates the basic foundation for any economic activity. So that, I think, is a very important concern for us as a chamber, and this is something we would continue to lobby with the authorities, the strong enforcement of law and order and unwavering commitment to recognize the importance of interracial harmony in this country.